Welcome to another video, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Now, for today, we're going to be talking about the 11th gen Civic Type R and a lot of its details. Now, in case you guys have missed it, I have covered the 11th gen Civic Type R in detail in my past videos. Now, again, if you have missed them, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I do a lot of car-related videos on my channel, from driving the cars on track, talking about future cars, talking about current cars, reviewing cars, looking at cars, taking pictures of cars, and also using heavy equipment, my skid steer, to improve my house in order to have more car activities. For example, building driveways, building garages, things like that. If you like that kind of stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it when you do. So, on to the 11th gen Civic Type R. In case you guys have missed it, I expect this to be an evolution, not a revolution, when it compares to the 10th gen Civic Type R. Now, as you all know from this channel, the 10th gen Civic Type R is an awesome car. It's probably one of the best Hondas made in the last 10 years. I don't think they've made a better car for us enthusiasts. I'd say since 2009, when they stopped making the Honda S2000. Now, the 10th gen is an awesome evolution of the Civic, and it's really fast on track. It's really fast on the street. It's got its limitations. So what I expect the 11th gen to do is to take that concept, to take all of the technologies and everything inside and improve it a little bit. Main improvement we'll see is, of course, in the interior. You guys got a glimpse of that there. The interior is going to be a lot better on this 11th gen versus the 10th gen Type R. We already see it in the newest Civic hatchbacks and the Civic SIs that are already out for 11th gen. The interiors are much better appointed, much better done. And that's one of the biggest changes. Other changes are, of course, going to be some different design changes. They're going to tone down the crazy designs that we're used to seeing on the 10th gen Civic Type Rs. They're going to tone it down significantly. Some people may like that, some may not. I actually prefer the 10th gen's looks, the more aggressive, kind of crazy Japanese look that I've come to love. But this is going to be nice as well. I mean, it looks good with the rear, tail lights looking good, and kind of a line there, and the wing is a little bit higher and better looking. I think that's the only more aggressive part. Everything else is a little bit more mature and subdued. But then the other adjustments they're going to be making, of course, are to the chassis and suspension. They've had many years now to perfect the chassis and suspension, so they're going to be bringing out what they've learned on the 10th gen Civic run, as well as the 10th gen Civic Limited Edition, which are those yellow Civic Type Rs that are limited edition Type Rs. They had better tires. They had slightly better brakes. The brakes have changed in different iterations. So if you get a newer Civic Type R, a 2020 Civic Type R, for example, it's going to have those two-piece rotors. It's going to have better cooling, slightly better cooling. However, I still expect this car to suffer from cooling issues. It's still going to have the water-cooled exhaust from the factory in order to reduce emissions. It's going to, unfortunately, decrease cooling capacity, which is fine if you buy this car for the right reasons. On this most recent video that Honda released, they have taken the 11th gen Type R to Suzuka circuit and have broken the previous record set by the 11th gen Civic Type R, the limited edition one. Now, it's significant because this is just the base model Civic Type R. There will be different iterations of it as it goes forward through its life cycle, and it's going to last about 5-6 years. They're going to make this car for about 5-6 years. One of the main differences that I like, that I'm appreciative of, is that they're no longer making it in England. They're actually making these in the Americas. I believe they're made in Canada, and basically North America. They're based the factories are based in North America. Everything's made in North America. So I am looking forward to actually getting one of these on the channel when they come out. I do like it for what it is, and I think it's significant. Now, back to the Suzuka circuit, what this tells us, the fact that it's faster than the limited edition, is that they've made improvements to the chassis, the tires, the brakes, and probably somewhere in the engine. I'm thinking they probably changed the final drive ratio in the transmission to shorten up the gears a little bit. Top speed in this car doesn't matter. Nobody cares about top speed anymore. Everyone cares about lap times with these cars. Everyone takes these cars and goes to the track with them. I can't go to a track day without seeing 3 or 4 Civic Type Rs at the track, which I love seeing. I love that these cars are taken to the track. Then they put their kids in there and go to get groceries and do all kinds of stuff. It's an all-purpose vehicle. The only problem, again, is that overheating, which I don't think they're going to fix. What I think they're going to be possibly doing is adding an automatic transmission, a dual clutch automatic. We'll probably see that in the Integra Type R. As you guys may or may not realize, the Civic and Integra are basically the same car, same chassis, and the Integra Type R might have the dual clutch, and the Civic Type R might only keep the manual, as I expect. Some people are saying it'll be hybrid. Some people are saying they're not. There may be a hybrid version later on. The initial version will not be hybrid. I really don't think so. But anyway, on to the lap. Let's take a look at this lap real quick. So we're about halfway through the lap, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited to see a Type R come back on track like this. And there's a few things I want to mention before we move forward and finish up the lap. The main differences that I see, at least straight away, is that this Type R, the 11th gen Civic Type R, has a sharper turn in than the 10th gen does. If you go back and even watch my videos when I first got the Type R and put it on at Pocono, you can see that the turn in's really good for a front wheel drive car, but front wheel drive cars are difficult to get really good turn in characteristics. And the reason is because everything's done in the front, power's in the front, the braking's in the front. So one of the best ways to do it is to do a kind of a trail braking into a turn to get the car to kind of rotate. Well, I saw this car mid-turn. I didn't see, he might have left foot brake, but I don't think he did. I think he just kind of just turned the wheel and the thing just went. They've made some improvements to the chassis. They've made some improvements to the suspension setting. And I know for a fact they've improved the I don't think they're magnetic ride, but the suspension does change its settings very, very rapidly, and I think they've improved it a lot. And as you can see here, they did beat the Suzuka circuit record. I think it's a combination of tires, brakes, and suspension. So let's go ahead and finish it. But I think the turn in for this car is going to be a lot better, and also aerodynamics. Aerodynamics I think are a lot better on this car than the previous one. All right, let's finish it up. So after watching the rest of the lap, you can clearly see that they've made really good improvements to the aerodynamics of the car. From the front scoop that takes air out of the engine and up, so that actually improves airflow and increases, or at least decreases drag and increases downforce. There's also improvements on the side of the car, as well as the wing being higher up to get it into that airflow a little bit better. All of that improves aerodynamic stability, and you can see in these high-speed corners how planted the car is. Now, the 10th gen Civic Type R is also very well in terms, does very well in terms of aero, but when you compare it to 11th gen, I mean, look at this turn right here. He is flat out. He's going very fast, and the downforce is helping him significantly. So they've made it all work together, and they've had basically 5 years to get it right since the first gen Civic Type R. I guess not the first gen, but the previous gen Civic Type R. They've had 5 years to perfect it, and here it is. Aerodynamics and everything is much better. So this is going to be an awesome Type R. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you soon. If you liked the video, again, hit that like button. And if you want to see more of these, hit subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.